Hi and welcome to this video. In this video I will show you how you can create your repositories on GitHub. I am at the moment on my profile page at GitHub and I have two options to create a new repository. The first one is to press this plus sign and then click on this new repository. You can also click on this repositories tab and then click on this green new button. Then you will create a new repository. The first thing we should decide is if we want to use a template. And you can do that if you want, but I would recommend you to just leave this empty with this no template. The next thing is that you should define a name for your repository. I would just call this test git repository, but give your repository a useful name that is saying something about the project that you're supposed to make. Then you have this description field down here, and the description field is where you can enter a short description of the project that you are doing. But this is optional, so I will just leave this empty. Then the next thing is to decide if your repository should be public or if it should be private. If you create your repository as a public repository, then it will be available for the whole internet, but you will be able to decide if the whole internet should be able to commit to your repository. I will recommend you to not make the whole internet able to commit to your repository. I will not show you how you can do this in this video, but maybe I will make one in near future. You can also check this private repository. As long as the repository is private, it is only you, or if you have some team members, you can add the team members so they have access to this repository. Then the next thing is to add a README file. A README file is where you can make a longer description for your project. This longer description is more or less the same as the description up here, but yeah, it should just be more clear what you are doing. You could also put in some information about how you can install the program or whatever you have on your repository. So some kind of guideline you can put in here, so whoever is visiting your repository knows how he or she can use it. Then the next thing is to that you can decide if you want a GIT01 file. A GIT01 file is always a good idea to have, because with a GIT01 file we can state which files or folders we don't want to be committed to our repository. It is always a good idea not to have database connection information or some other information on your GitHub, even though that it is a private repository. Then don't commit your database connection information and so on, because a day you could change the private repository to public, and then the whole internet can see the connection information to your database. So what we do now is that to add such a GIT01 file, we need to state which language that the project is developed in. I would just for this example say that it would be Java that I will make my project in. Then the last thing is to choose the license for this GitHub repository. You can leave this empty, but if this was a full repository where you have a complete project or something like that, then you can determine which license you want, so that the internet knows how they are allowed to use the software you have done. The last thing you should do is to click on this create repository, this green button down here, and after a little while you will get into to the repository where you can see different things. The first thing you can see is that you can see the name up here. You can also see that it is a private repository. If it was a public repository, this would be public. Then you have some other things you can see here. The first thing is that you can see how many who is watching your repository. You can also see a counter for how many has forked your repository, and the last thing you can see a counter for how many who have started your repository. Then you can see here which branch you are looking at. If there were more branches, you would be able to choose between them and select down here which branch you want to see. But for now, this is fair enough. This is the main branch, that is the default one. So we'll just leave it as it is. Then we have this field here where we can see all the files, and for now it is just our GIT01 file that is in here. And this GIT01 file, the template has inserted some file extensions that will be ignored when we are doing commits. So we, in case any of these file extensions are present in your project, they will be left out when you do a commit. So for now, this is good enough. In a later video, you will see how we can make this more clear depending on which IDE we are using. We could make a GIT01 that is more precise to, for instance, JetBrains IntelliJ project. So let's just go back here. And the last thing I would like you to know in this video is that this README part that we just unchecked before, if you want to add that afterwards, you can click on this green button, add a README, and then you will be able to write this long description for your project. That was it for this video. Thank you for watching.